judging mind appears. We take notice of a person's appearance, speech, and demeanor, and in a millisecond, we draw conclusions about what type of person they must be. Some of these judgments might be sympathetic, some critical, but since they're based on a subconscious sliver of information, how accurate can they be? The truth is, we know next to nothing about a stranger passing through our day. Let's say we're sitting beside someone on a flight, and we overhear they have an addiction to reality television. They voraciously watch this show and that show and can't go a week without their fix. And with this fleck of information, we start to form a picture of who they are. But for all we know, that same person has a PhD in astrophysics, or 3 beautiful children, or a cancer diagnosis, or all of those things. Judgments separate us from other people, giving us a sense of division or superiority. But on the flip side of judgment is an opportunity to feel connection. Because whatever it is we're judging, we probably suffer from some version of the same feature or flaw. We all have our faults and guilty pleasures. That's a part of what makes each of us so compelling and interesting. As Emilio Estevez put it, we are all wonderful, beautiful wrecks. That's what connects us, that we're all broken, all beautifully imperfect. So call on the mindfulness skill of awareness. Try to pay closer attention to your judgments. And as you get to know these tendencies, challenge them, soften them. Instead of giving in to the judging mind, deepen your connection to the beautifully imperfect people around you.
Good morning, JoCo. We just wanted to start you off with a little bit of wellness here on this Wellness Wednesday, something to think about, something to ponder on about when you're out and about and meeting new people or end up in a new situation like we've all been there, or stepping into a new role or a possible new role. It's so easy to step into judgment of other people and go off of that first impression, or sometimes even go off of what other people tell you about someone. And so I hope you will listen back to that if you haven't listened to the beginning of the show. And that's Tamara Levitt. She's one of my favorite people. She's she actually started the Calm app. And so I listen to her daily, and so I can try and be a better human, because we all make mistakes, and we're just all imperfect. So I hope that what you take away from that as you listen to it is that you will give grace to people, and also give them an opportunity to show you who they really are versus who you might have been told that they are, or whatever your first impression is when you first meet someone. And so I hope that will help. So welcome. It's JoCo Vibes here on this Wellness Wednesday, and I'm Tiffany Carlin with Nona Reed. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think I definitely felt I slept way, way, way better. So anyway, it is Wellness Wednesday.
Well, you also got to bed a little earlier.
I did. I was in bed before 11, like asleep.
Yeah.
So super proud of myself, because that really, 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 really makes a difference. So I want to continue our mental health minute here on Wellness Wednesday, and you have to ask yourself, have you checked on your people? And have you checked in with yourself?
I have this week.
I have too.
I really have.
Yeah. I've been making a note to just kind of quickly, check on some people that I haven't seen or talked to in a while, and just to see, hey, what's going on in your life? Because I think it's so easy for us to get wrapped up in what we have going on, that we forget to check on other people. Sound like I'm wheezing again, don't I?
I have definitely checked on myself too. So, but yeah, I mean, it is. We get caught up in our everyday activities and we just get so wrapped up and then we forget about. So we'll go, oh, I need to contact that person. When technically we probably should do it right then, because usually what happens is then their other things have gotten thrown into the mix, and maybe you'll remember again at 11 o'clock that night. So, yes, definitely check on your people, check on your peeps.
So also, let's let that take us into our quote of the day, which is, "It always seems impossible until it's been done." Nelson Mandela. And so I think that's like part of that what if upping thing, right? Like people think things are so impossible until you actually achieve it, and then you realize, wait a minute, that wasn't so tough. I actually did it. So let that be a reminder to keep going. Take the punches and keep rolling and head towards your God purpose and do the things that you feel you need to do to achieve greatness, to achieve success, to do great things for others, whatever that may be.
Did you say Nelson Mandela?
Yeah.
I think it's next Thursday. Let me look.
Is it?
It's Nelson Mandela Day or something.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, today, since we're talking about days, it's July 13th, 2022.
My 26th year anniversary.
It's your 20. It's 26 today.
Mm-hmm.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you.
Are you guys going out to dinner?
Yes.
Can't remember what you're doing.
Yes.
Where are you going so we can all stalk you? No, I'm
Right.
kidding. Don't say where you're going.
No, I'm not going to. Although because we have a couple in mind, but we never made exact. Like, it's kind of been a crazy week already, and so we'll be deciding sometime today.
Okay. Well, so you know what your anniversary is. July 13th is the 194th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. On this day, Captain James Cook begins his second voyage aboard the Resolution to the South Seas to search for Terra Australis, and Live Aid concerts are held at both Wembley Stadium in London and JFK Stadium in Philadelphia for African famine relief. Famous birthdays include Julius Caesar, Harrison Ford, and Nathan Bedford Forrest. Today is National French Fry Day as well. I won't be eating them, Adam Smith. I will not eat French fries. I do eat. I will eat.
I am not gonna say I'm not going to. I might.
I would maybe eat some sweet potato fries, and I think that counts. But
I
have been better. I replace
doesn't
it with
say
that.
what kind. I mean,
It just says French fries,
yeah.
so I can do sweet potato French fries,
right?
if I choose to, and if it fits into my calorie macro package. So, which I don't know if I'm doing great at it or not. I mean, I'm counting the calories more than I'm counting the macros. But like what you and I did last night was we like massive proteined up at the probably a little later in the evening.
Yes.
But that's okay. That's okay. We
That's
packed it
right.
in. We're going to go to break here in about 30 seconds. And when we come back, we're going to give you the word for the week, since we were not live yesterday morning because Nona was picking her place on the ballot for school board place 1. We'll have more on that when we come back from the break, but she is place 1.
Woohoo!
Her name will be first on the ballot. We'll tell you more about it when we come back from the break. Stay with us.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night. And she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. and I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night every Saturday night.
Look,
Miss Dixie,
Look,
how you doing? He said, it's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom.
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys.
Hi,
I
Mom.
just wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
I
my
would rather have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
Hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit more.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love
girl.
you.
I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
My mom, love
Oh,
you.
Dixie.
I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JoCo Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered. When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family-owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
Hey, welcome back to the second half of JoCo Vibes here on JoCo Community Radio. And Tiffany Carlin with Nona Reed. JoCo Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The JoCo Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store, download it for free, and you can tune in all day long and hear all different types of show hosts that we have here on JoCo Community Radio. I just happen to be one of them on our own show. I'm going to talk about that because it's important. This episode and more brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. That's right. Reach out to your local Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, who works for them at 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-839-4245. Get them in your corner before the next storm hits, because while they're inspecting my roof, even at this moment, they're going to try and not pay me for the full amount of my claim, I'm sure. So you got to have someone who's going to fight in your corner for you and help you get paid the full amount of that claim. So I'm hoping that we don't have to do that, but 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. They don't want to pay the full amount of their claim. We love you, insurance companies, but you are a pain in the ass. So, welcome back. So one of the things I wanted to touch on is JoCo Vibes is one show on a radio station that spins 24/7. And if you don't like something that I say personally as a radio show host, which is what I'm doing when I'm on this show, is I'm being a radio show host. If you don't like what I say, or you don't agree with it, you think it's controversial, maybe I misspoke or whatever, attack me. Attack me personally. Come after me personally. But please do not come after JoCo Community Radio as a whole. First of all, when you're publicating things on social media to literally interfere with a business from doing business, and I mean specifically naming a business, you're atrociously interfering with them, and that could cause legal problems for you. But not only that, you're hurting the other show hosts on this radio station. You're not hurting me personally. It's me you want to hurt personally, but you're intentionally hurting the radio station as a whole, which is going after every other show host that invests their time in this community, who is offering light and love and positivity and growth and good things for all of Johnson County and beyond. We have listeners from all over. And you're also making our community look bad when you do things like that. I may not agree with what a certain podcast presents themselves as on a regular basis. I have a right to my personal opinion, but that is my personal opinion. That is not the opinion of JoCo Community Radio. And it's certainly not the opinion of other show hosts on JoCo Community Radio. It's my personal opinion as a radio show host and journalist. And so come after me personally, that's fine. That's fine. I got tough skin, and I won't stop speaking truth either, no matter how you try to attack me. But stop attacking my business as a whole, and stop attacking the other show hosts and the businesses who invest their money in this radio station, who advertise with us. That's who you're hurting. That's who you're trying to intentionally cause harm to. And I won't tolerate that. So now that that's out of the way, let me give you the word of the week, the focus word of the week. If you guys don't have this book, this is a fantastic book by Clear Cherry Reeves. It's called Focus: How One Word a Week Will Transform Your Life. We try and at least share a word each week out of the book. Movement was last week's, and this week's is, and I never pre-look because I like to be surprised when I read it the first time too. This week's word is rooted. Then Christ will make his home in your hearts as you trust in him. Your roots will grow down into God's love and keep you strong. Ephesians 3:17. The focus tip for the word of the week, which is rooted, is this week: before responding in anger or sarcasm or spite, think or whisper the word rooted and stand firm, remembering that your response to that person or situation has more to do with you being rooted in Christ than it does with the situation at hand. Hello.
Can you say that louder in the back?
You want me to read it again?
People in the back.
This week, before responding in anger or sarcasm or spite, think or whisper the word rooted and stand firm, remembering that your response to that person or situation has more to do with you being rooted in Christ than it does with the situation at hand. I'm going to be saying that I'm going to be reading this daily. That is awesome right there. I like that. So be rooted. If
That's right.
If you're a Christ-centered person and if you're a believer, then allow that to be your root. And I am that person. I am a believer. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. Doesn't mean that I don't sin on a daily, very, very regular basis, because we all do. And show me a perfect person and I'll call you a liar. So I like that.
Yeah,
I really do. All right. So before we went to break, we did talk about where we were yesterday morning, and I went with you out of support because no one wants to go do things for the first time alone. And even I was nervous for you. But part of the reason that I was nervous for you is because and your husband couldn't go with you because he was already at work. So
yeah, he had a 9:00 inspection anyway.
And if you're not here, if you can't be here at 9 a.m. to be on the show with me, I don't want to sit here by myself. So I'm going with you. So I went with you to the Burleson School District to draw your number for a place, because that was directed by your attorney to still go, even though the school board's calling for an illegal election again for August 20th. So I kind of wanted to share what some of the challenges are with the current procedures that they've put forth. And so I know your attorney is meeting with their attorney sometime today to have this same discussion. But I think it's important, and the reason I want to discuss it here is it's so important for transparency to happen, and that's doesn't seem to be what is happening right now.
No.
And so it's really important that people understand how the law works and what the law says, what the rules are, what the BISD's policies are. And each school district has its individual policies.
They have a local and a legal. So there's a legal that they are bound to by the state, and then there's the local where they can make some adjustments.
Right. So the first and most important issue stands as the calling of an election, a special election that was ordered by a judge, calling on the election on a date that doesn't coincide with the November general election, according to the following, of which I'm going to tell you. Burleson ISD, their policy number 126902. There's two different sections to this. There's a BBBA legal and a BBB legal -A. If you're looking for things to be more confusing, this is the place to look. First of all, it starts with a note: if the district is subject to a court order or other binding legal determination, the district shall. These words are important: shall, may, and, or, when you're talking about legal stuff. The district shall conduct its elections in accordance with that court order or determination, applicable law, which is the state law for elections, and this policy. That's not or, and or is not in there. It is all three things. They must conduct the election according to those three things combined: the court order ruling, the applicable state law, and their own election policy. To the extent of any conflict, the court order or other legal determination shall prevail. So, under the Burleson ISD 126902 BBB legal -A, uniform election dates are specified. So this is in their own policy, right? So you have the court order, which states that they must hold the election and add Nona Reed onto the ballot. The court ordered that her application was indeed valid and did pass all of this, the requirements according to the state election laws. Okay, so they must do it in a timely manner, is what the court order states. Now, again, you have to refer back to the note where it says you still must do these three things in order to comply. You have to follow the Texas law, what the court order says, which is adding Nona's name to the ballot, and follow your own legal policy in your ISD's policy, election code policy, which this is. Okay. So here is what it says. Each general or special election of board members shall be on one of the following dates: the first Saturday in May, or the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, which is your general election date. That's the election code 41-001A. Joint elections required. Again, I'm reading BISD's policy,
which can be found on the Burleson ISD website under Board of Trustees under the board policies.
Yes.
I
might actually,
we're not making stuff up.
Right. I might actually have the links to it. So a district trustee election shall be held on the same date as the election for the members of the governing body of a municipality located in the district. That's usually in May, which was when this election was supposed to happen, but it was canceled. 2, the general election for state and county officers, which is held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November in even numbered years under election code 41-002. Therefore, what this states is that a special election and all types of elections for the BISD are to be held as a joint election only, which means if they have the opportunity, of which they do, okay, for November in an even year, that's when this election should be taking place. All right. So now we're getting into the second place where they made a mistake. Education Code 11.052A-D was violated, as you can see by the meeting, the special meeting that the BISD held on June 17th. And we'll include a link to, you can go to the YouTube page, and I highly recommend to everybody to go do this. You don't have to take my word or my opinion. In fact, this is not opinion, this is fact
It's
that I'm reading.
fact.
I'm literally reading their stuff. But I encourage you to go to the YouTube page for the Burleson Independent School District and watch the meetings. If you've got time, watch as many as you can, and you will see the same repetitive behavior that is taking place at our school board meetings. And if you're a taxpayer and this doesn't concern you after you see the pattern, you're ignoring it. You must be ignoring it, or you just don't like me, so you don't want to see the truth in front of you. Okay. And this is not the only school district that is having
Correct.
this problem and getting complaints about this right now. So election code 11-052A-D was violated, as you can see, by the meeting on June 17th, 2022. Here, there is a link for this special session. During the special session, there is no discussion of the actual resolution that they talk about at the end of this meeting. It's not read out loud. There is no election date that was ever spoken about in public, nor was it presented to the public in any way. There is no publication in a newspaper that took place before the meeting. So one of the requirements, which I'll get to, is in here. The motion itself at the end of this meeting does not include a date for the election
It just
either.
included stating they were going to go along with the
Resolution.
No, that
what
had
wasn't
been
June-
ordered to them.
No, that wasn't June 17th.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that one was earlier.
Mm-mm.
They did
June
it-
17th was the first time they'd ever talked about my case at all. And they got the thing, May 4th?
I thought that there was one meeting right before that where they said
we were there May 13th, which is a regular meeting, and there was no talk about it either.
right, but there was a special meeting right before this one. Hang on, hear me. Special meeting right before this one where they agreed to the order, and that was the end
No,
of that
was
one.
this one.
No, this was the resolution.
No, this is where they agreed. They had a motion to agree to the order, but then there was never a motion on the resolution. That was all done supposedly in the same day, but some of it was not talked about on the public
There
side.
was 2 special meetings that week.
There was
Go to the YouTube.
I will,
Please
girl.
go to the YouTube.
You think I ain't got my stuff straight?
I know. Okay. All right. So regardless, the point is that they motioned to agree to the resolution, but never read the resolution out loud, never publicly spoke about an actual date of a proposed election, of which this date is now they're trying to make it August 20th of see, okay, so maybe it wasn't the same one. I swear there was 2 different things, 2 different dates.
This had nothing to do with the school board. The next week was a special meeting also, but it had nothing to do with me. And then on July 6th, they had another meeting in which I have no information on because I was not privy to the information, and it's about the election too.
Well, click that agenda for me really quick
It's
because
still not up. Because it's not going to be up until we have a regular session on the 25th
you mean
for
the
them
minutes.
to approve. Correct.
right, the minutes. Okay.
Now, as of now, it might be on YouTube because Ashley Logan, who is doing open records and all that,
Okay. So here's the deal.
said it was supposed to be up today.
So I actually think I have some of my dates wrong. So actually it was July 6th where they amended the order for the thing. And that's when
Yes.
they did the resolution. So I'm sorry, I have my dates wrong. That's what I have, because it was June 17th when they agreed to the order from the judge.
Right.
And then it was July 6th where they amend the order and of an election, and which is agreeing to a resolution. And neither one of these,
But they
one
signed everything for June 17th as the resolution, and it wasn't talked about on
correct.
open record.
Well, nothing was talked about.
Right.
That's the whole thing. So,
Which it violates an Open Meetings Act.
well, let me read this part for you, for everybody. So before adopting an order and this is again election code 11.052A-D. Before adopting an election order, a board must hold a public hearing at which registered voters of a district are given an opportunity to comment on whether or not they favor the election of trustees in the manner proposed by the board. 2, they must publish notice of the hearing in a newspaper that has general circulation in the district not later than the 7th day before the date of the hearing. An order adopted by the board must be entered not later than the 120th day before the date of the first election. Now, this doesn't count because this is a special election, so it's not 120 days. It has to be put to the public according to the Texas law, which we'll get to. But the point is that we do have a local paper, and it is the Cleveland Times Review or the Fort Worth Star Telegram, and there was nothing published to the people a week before the meeting that there was going to be a hearing about this special election. So there's that. And 2, this isn't special election, and elections in general are not an executive session agenda item.
No.
These are a public discussion agenda item. And I tell you again to go back and watch all of the YouTube videos from the BISD, and you will find that it is very rare that anything is discussed in open meeting. And that most agenda items, they come out of executive session.
Which again violates the
Open Meetings Act. Right. And I think the Attorney General's going to want to hear about it.
They actually violated the Open Meetings Act also on the day they canceled the election.
Right.
So,
and look, this is not saying that any one board member has done anything wrong. Okay. If you don't know the policies and you don't know the law, then you don't know what you don't know. But when you have a lawyer, you have
2 different lawyers there.
But your superintendent is not supposed to be directing these meetings. First of all, he's not on the board. He works for the board. He works for the
pretty much kind of sits there.
He works for the people.
You're supposed to.
But you do have a secretary that when you go into executive session, they have to sign off on what you discussed in executive session. So, and there is record of that. And we will be getting a record of all of that actually for, I don't know yet. We're talking about how long we're going to request that for. But this is it's super important. It's super important because if they're not talking in open meetings about stuff that affects the taxpayers, the students, the parents, the teachers that are supposed to be, and that's what an open meeting is for, then how do we know what they're doing with our money? I mean, this topic just came up again as another article just came out that the state is pushing for or supporting some sort of marshal type of appointments within our schools to keep our kids safe. Because again, right here in BISD, this is a hot topic, which is great because the fact that this is happening, it just shows you these conversations need to happen, whether you agree with everybody's different ideas, they're conversations, and that's how you come to solutions.
Correct.
And they're happening not only in Texas, but it's happening across the state. In fact, I believe you had just pulled up a news thing about a superintendent who resigned because of pressure from parents. But we can get into that. But I want to read you guys the rest of this code. If you want to read this for yourself, please do go to the BISD's website and go to departments and go to Board of Trustees. And then there's a section on there that says, is it policies? I've got it open here. The section is Board Policy Manual, and it's an easy tool to navigate. All you have to do is search for these things, and you can search elections in there, and it will pull up all these codes that I've just read to you. So, but I want to finish these because we only got 5 minutes left.
I know,
and I just lost my. I closed my page so I can pull that up. And it's because it's an email. All right, sorry. All right, so you want to look for the election codes BBB, BBBA, and the BBB is specific to board member elections, and then the BBBA is elections, conducting elections, and then the Texas Election Code, section 4.003B. This is on the Texas Secretary the Texas SOS website where you can get this. In conjunction with the other violations, the BISD violated the proper posting to the counties with a 60-day notice. And as of yesterday, still there is no notice of a supposed election of August 20th. There's still nothing on the county's website about it. And they have a signed agreement with them. So the 60 days is done and gone. Okay. First of all, they didn't notify the Johnson County Elections Office until June 28th.
So a week and a half after the June 17th.
Right, which doesn't matter. It's
right. I'm
not
just saying.
It's not 60 days.
And then Tarrant was July 6th.
Right. Tarrant was July 6th. So they're way behind on the 60-day notice. And it's not even proper time to give your candidates time to campaign.
And can I also throw in, I was not aware of the date either until July 6th when I found out there was another special meeting, and I sent someone up there because I was in Fort Worth. And by the time they got there, it was already over again. And this person was told, oh, well, they set the date on June 17th. It's August 20th. That was the very first time. And then the very next day, I got a call from the assistant to the elections administrator saying to come in yesterday or the 11th for the drawing of the ballot.
Right. So your attorney said to go ahead and draw.
Mm-hmm.
And then the attorneys will talk about the legalities of the dates and everything today. So this is whether the election is August 20th or, which is not going to happen because that would be illegal. And I certainly hope that the BISD would listen to their attorneys. And if they're getting bad advice from the attorneys that they're paying for on top of their internal attorney, who apparently doesn't know their own policy.
He's also the election administrator, by the way.
Right. Which I think is wrong in the first place. But if you don't know, why are we paying people in our school district who don't know their own policy?
We're not just paying them. I'm pretty sure they're 6 figures, by the way.
I don't know what Tom Dyer makes, but
sure
I'd like to know. But let's just say
more than a teacher.
If that's who is guiding our school board on the rules and regulations of their own policies for executive session and open meeting, we have a problem. So I have great respect. I've been texting with Stacy Eisner. I have a great respect for many of our board members that I know personally. And I will continue to have that respect as long as you don't close your eyes to what is going on illegally during school board meetings.
That's going to get yourself in trouble if you're a sitting board member.
It is, because when it becomes known,
you can't close your eyes. You can't say, I didn't know, because you are supposed to know the policies of the election codes, the law, and your board.
Right. Well, and your job is to protect the teachers and the students.
You're supposed to also be the voice of the citizens, the teachers, and the parents.
We are. All right. We Rise Wednesday. This week, we wanted to congratulate the Alvarado Chamber of Commerce for welcoming its newest member, Ware's Giant Tire Service. They have been servicing the North Central Texas area since 1995, but have just recently expanded to the Alvarado area. You can check out their services at where'sgianttireservice.com. Have an amazing Wednesday. Be kind. God bless.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio.
Hey, Jill, congratulations on your son getting into the college of his dreams and with a